Tink, tink. Buenos tardes, Raimundo. One of my favorite lines from the gentleman. Hey, welcome back, fellow van builders. It's Scott from Vandango, and I am out sitting next to the van. Production's still underway, but in the meantime, I've got a trip up to Utah to take where I'm going to be doing some off-roading, some overlanding, if you will. And so I need to take a vehicle that I can do some car camping in, and that will allow for that off-roading as needed. So initially I thought, let's take the LandCruiser, the old school LandCruiser, the diesel. But I've got the radio ripped out of that thing, and that sort of precludes, tunes along the way, and I have the luxury of a luxury offering. And I'm just wondering how many folks out there would consider, maybe not many, taking their LX570 out for a little car camping. And given the van building work I'm doing and the extruded aluminum effort, I thought with some scraps I got available, I thought I'd get to work and tinker on something that might be able to come together for a good platform in the back. So how many of you folks out there actually car camp in a Lexus? In this case, it's a quasi LandCruiser. It's a 200 series LandCruiser, but nevertheless, car camping in a Lexus, and what's your setup look like? So check this out. All right, here she is. I put the skinny Yakima rack up there, and that awning will come off of there, as well as my case, that Rome Adventure case, and they'll fit up on this rack up on the other side. So that's no big deal. That's not a problem. But look, here's the extruded aluminum scraps I put together, and you can see just sort of the beginning of a bit of a platform up there. So I got an idea. If I had a platform that stretched across here, I think I can make this work. Hold on. So there's my other adventure case, and if I make sure I open it on this side, because I need a skinny ice chest right there, or I need a short one. Yeah, there aren't many short ones, so a skinny one would go in there. This we can open on this side, and that's about the height. All right, hang on. Let's see if this works. So I cut a little wider up there again for the shoulders. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's get the sleeping pad up there. All right, here we go. Let's try this, see if this works. A little wide, but if that ice chest sits here with a little bit of height, I think I'll be good. Whoever invented these inflatable, I don't know, blow sacks, whatever these are called, man, they were great. You just push on those suckers and it just airs up your mattress. So cool. Look, we're almost there. All right, so it looks like it clears it from there. It does, clears it, and it's gonna clear it there too. So that's good. That's for more than 6 feet. So I think that does it. This thing is, yeah, I don't think I need to mount that down any further. This is really strong. Last thing for me to do is hop up there and see if it holds the weight. Yeah. All right. Otherwise, just thinking, this is a perfect spot for that solo fireplace that I have that's in a container, and you can actually cook on it if you want to. That could fit right here. Ice chest here. Put my little compressor, if I have to air down and air up my tires, I can go back in there along with a whole host of other things. So Yeah, that solo stove will fit right here. Probably stick up about this high. Bam, there's that solo stove. It's actually not as tall as I was originally making out, but that'll work great. And I've got a griddle I just picked up that can go right on top of there. So more room to stuff down in there. Certainly gonna take the Jackery, and because I got plenty of ability to charge things with the Jackery, and I got a 110 outlet in the back of the LX, I just use these for lights. There's other lights I've got as well that are just as handy, but these, a lot of power for a long time, easily chargeable for short trips like this. And then for the Jackery, we've got the solar panel. So I just did a quick flip of this from long ways to the short way up against the back seats. This is a Pelican ice chest, kind of a knockoff of a Yeti. It's nice. Got that for working 35 years for a company. That's what you get these days. Whoop-de-doo. Kitchen box, can fill that up with a lot more. This thing is cool and it very much works. You set your PSI for your tire that you want it to be at. It reads the tire and then fills it up once you hit the go number. And this will fill up your tires and then you can charge it. That's one of the reasons I stay with that sort of uniform format of DeWalt. So make sure this can go in there. Let's see. This probably fit right back in here. Yeah. Fit some other things in there. It could also go back here when this door is up. So far, that's a decent pack. I still want to see how comfortable this is before I get everything jammed in there, because some other things I need to take as well. I need some storage boxes, I think. Not sure if I got room for it. I could put a box up under this kitchen box. Anyway, I've got more room. Probably more room than I need, because I'm going to put a Roam case up on the roof too. And I got this basket for whatever I want to put in it. So that basket's going to actually hold the Roam case, but then I got room on the front side for firewood and various other things. So that'll hold the Roam case, and on the other side of the rack will be the awning. All right, let's see what this is like. Let's say we're calling it for a night. Finished up dinner. Dinner's all done. Climbing in the back. Oh, nice. So I can see right now in Dallas, even in early May, it's a little warm back here. So each night we'll need to do this camp up at elevation. So I think first night I'll make it all the way to Albuquerque, which is 5,000 feet. But anyway, this is cool, kind of handy. It gets dark, you can still read. So I can set that up right there. You know, get the book out. Reading this book called Children of Time, really fascinating. Of all authors' last name, Adrian Tchaikovsky. So when it's dark enough, I'll have light from the sun where I can read. That's cool. And I don't feel any teetering or sort of rockiness here. So, and can sleep sideways. This is gonna be comfortable because this is an air mattress. Yeah, this is gonna be just right. Now, if you want to get out of this sleeping platform, normally I would have my car keys, but on the dash, I can hit the button to open it back up again. Yeah. So I got to make sure I have my car keys handy so I can just slide out when I'm done sleeping. Now, no need to take a table, I don't think, because I got for LX and LandCruisers, you just have the full out gate, so I can put the cooker on that, and that'll be good. Let's see. Yeah. It's gonna be great. Super comfortable. This mattress from REI, I got it into the resale section. If you're a member, members can return stuff. So this thing's got like an X on it. It's been used, but it's like brand new. So got it for nice and cheap, which I like deals. In today's extreme inflation environment, I like deals. All right, this is gonna be great. Really good. Nice. And then get the ice chest out, slide it out up under from under here. Probably gonna have to pull this out, air it down, and pull the sleeping platform off in order to get at my stove and the other things I've got in there. So I just gotta get sort of practiced at that. But that'll work. That's gonna work just fine. All right, just for giggles, let's see what it's like to break this thing down and get ready for travel in the morning. And I think, open both these up. Actually, I think it's gonna be roll from this side so that you don't close off those air escape areas. There's that X. It means somebody used it once before. But as you can tell, this thing, yeah, you can hear the air coming out of there. This thing's brand new. A lot of people, fortunately, maybe fortunately and unfortunately, REI just lets people bring anything back and then discounts it even further for those of us who can reuse the gear and make good use of it. So I expect this would be each morning's activity. So it's going to take me 2 days to get up to Utah. I'm going to Escalante, and it's going to take, so stopping somewhere around Albuquerque, maybe up in the hills above Albuquerque, and then it'll take me 2 days to get back. It's be a good, long, nice 7-day trip. Okay, almost got it. Man, I'll tell you, that is super comfortable. That is well worth it. I think I gave, and there's that sort of blow sack thing. Fill that thing up with air. You can blow into it or fill it up just scooping up in air, and then you push that right into the mattress. It works great. It's good to sort of practice what you're going to be doing on the road, so you don't get out there first day or so and spend 4 or 5 hours trying to figure out how to run all your gear that you picked up. That's my view anyway. That thing is ingenious. All right. So that's how I would get that off, and then this would slide out and this is sand ply too. So, you know, if there was a little bit of rain out there, this is a certain kind of plywood that can handle a little bit of moisture. I didn't put a sealer on it or anything. I could probably do that. I probably should do that. But sand ply is different than your typical plywood. Typical plywood would be like a sponge absorbing moisture. This, not so much, as long as you don't let it get soaked. So yeah, then I got access here. I have to pull my deal out a bit. Got access there, and I got access here. All right. You know, I'd say the other benefit of this approach too is when you break down your bedding, you then have a really nice platform to stack all kinds of stuff until you get to your next destination, right? So that's now out of the way. This could ride up here for sure. If I needed to, I could actually put the ice chest up on here and then put more stuff under here depending on what else I need to take. I don't need to take a whole heck of a lot more. But I'm going to put a backpack in here for all my clothing and overnight stuff and shower kit and all that. Certainly I can come up with some other things. You know, I'll travel with my laptop so I can do some work on the road, various projects I'm in the middle of. And yeah, so this, you can store and stack a lot of stuff while you're traveling. So I could see some dry goods grocery bags up here and other things like that. So that's a great platform. This is like half of a back bed of a truck. So that's awesome. All right, so the rig, I think, I feel really good about it. I think it's ready. That sleeping platform, just a little scrap of extruded aluminum from the van build and some appropriate hardware, and put together a sort of an upper body platform, and then using the Roam case for the lower body, and then the ice chest. Super stable, and you know, I think no problem sleeping in there, which is great. And the platform, you can store stuff. The sleeping air mattress, super comfortable. So the idea for me is make sure all of that is easy and very comfortable. Can be moved around, and is as flexible as it can be. Because the last thing I want to be doing, it's a small area to begin with, so you know you're going to have some maneuvering, but you want to, you know, try to maximize comfort and bring along the things that you're going to enjoy, like the solo stove, which will be fun. And I'm going to throw a drone in here and see whether or not I can pull off some drone footage. I haven't flown the drone for a long time. But you know, all to make the journey comfortable. And it's at the end of the day, it's about the journey and having a great time at your destination. So headed up to Utah. I think what I'll do is I'll throw some footage in on this video. So not only it's just kind of seeing the build that I'm using for this trip, which, you know, as I said at the outset, is going to be some off-roading, some four-wheel drive usage, and hopefully this prom queen will have no problem out there. His name is actually Big Louie, but you know, I'm sure I'll get teased a little bit. If I end up with any ground clearance issues, fortunately I got you know, hydraulics that'll lift the car up quite high to get over some tough stuff. So it's not going to be super serious off-roading, but nonetheless some off-roading where four-wheel drive and perhaps low will be needed. So this baby will get it done, no problem. And the camp setup and the sleeping setup will be perfect. So there you have it. And I will throw some footage of the on the road and in camping, in environment, so you can kind of see what I was rolling through. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever done that with your, I've seen tons of LandCruisers with setups like this and a few LXs, but who's out there doing car camping with a Lexus? Not that that's a huge deal, but it's kind of like taking out the luxury car to see whether or not you can make it work car camping, which I'm sure bazillions of people have and should do it all day long. I don't intend to pay for a hotel room, and I'm doing all my cooking, plenty of sandwiches, road Sammies out on the road, and so this is going to be a relatively inexpensive, fun adventure, minus the gas cost. All right, well, see you on the road, and footage coming following this. Thought I'd share the journey has begun, and not much to see out here in Texas, West Texas, but there's some pretty cool, wind generation going on out here. Check it out. They're wind farming, cattle farming, wheat farming, oil farming, farming it all. Let's add solar farm to that. All right, gang, just pulled off the side of the road to get a little Sammy, and nice to see it cooled down. Excuse me. Nice to see it warmed up. It was like 51 degrees in Amarillo when I went through and made a stop, and I'm in New Mexico, and things are better. You can look out and see buttes. You can see variation in the topography. It's not just one flat pancake, unfortunately, like Texas is. So out here making a little lunch stop. Full on fixins, man. It's gonna be a good Sammy. So good. Nice little road Sammy. All right, I'm gonna clean up here just outside of Tucumcari on my way into Albuquerque. See you in a bit. Well, headed to some BLM land for my overnight. I'm west and north up in the mountains from Albuquerque on my way to southern Utah, and it's 43 degrees right now at about 6:30, and I've got squalls, so should make for some car camping challenges, just a little from the standpoint of cooking. Anyway, shouldn't be too bad though. All right, gang, first dinner. I got the camp stove out, the little pad thai, cup and a half, stir it around in there, seal it up. It's supposed to be 8 minutes. This stove worked great. Still need to work out how I'm doing this number back in here, and I had to get my sleep platform out in order to get the stove out. So I'll get my system down here at some point. But there you go. First night, first dinner, and a little bit of Roja to go with it. Cheers. All right, gang, bed's ready back there. That's gonna be good. Got dinner to eat. I'm sitting there with a front seat pad thai experience with a little bit of Roja and mood lighting. Anyway, I'll report out tomorrow morning. Good night. Yeah, it's just beautiful. You can barely hear the highway in the background. But this is BLM land, so you can do dispersed camping, I understand. Anyway, that's what I did. And I was up that road, very low use road. My tire tracks probably are, the first it's seen in several months, be my guess. Anyway, just a gorgeous morning. Gorgeous morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, that was first night doing some truck camping, SUV camping. It was a little chilly, but I can tell you that sleeping bag I got in combo with the sleeping pad was perfect. Good sleep last night. So check this out. By the way, I'm gonna make my way towards Utah here this morning instead of cooking up anything. Probably grab a coffee along the way because I got 400 miles to make up before I get there. So we're just gonna hit the road and worry about some of the other comforts like brushing the teeth and getting all ready to go at a later juncture this morning. So I'll see you on the road. Yep, wake up in the morning in New Mexico and roll into Utah without coffee in the morning. You just got to stop. You got to make a cup, or things just aren't, they're not going to go well, at least for me. So fuel up, get your coffee, make your journey. So we're doing the rim hike very near Escalante, and it's like some of the stuff I've seen already on this trip, but that is the Escalante River Basin down there, and it flows all the time apparently. And there's all kinds of cool sights. The geology in the family, my brother was telling me that this was all a river basin, ocean basin at one time, covering up sand dunes. So this kind of looked like maybe Saudi Arabia in through here, because this was all sand dunes before the river lakes, were here. And the rivers and lakes mashed these all down, and then when they receded, these things were emerged. That's the story. The amount of green's amazing, yeah. Just down in that pocket.
Yeah.
Calf Creek.
Calf Creek. And there's another hike. Out this road we drive down Upper Calf Creek Falls. Not many people do that. So that's up that direction.
It's amazing that when you come out of that canyon like that,
boom.
Yeah, and then it's just this expanse.
So we're on the edge of the Circle Cliffs, and they named it that way because the old timers would just name what shit looked like. And these cliffs are in a big, giant circle all around this area. If you look on a map. Yeah, I agree. You can't see. Just poking through that crack in the rock. Wow.
Strike Valley. Just keeps going and going. All right. Capitol Reef, getting ready to go down the Burr switchbacks. You go from pavement to dirt, and you go out there in the Capitol Reef area and go down this amazing switchback dirt road where they took cattle down from the upper part of this area down to the lower part. There's that Sprinter van down there, going slow. Man, that is amazing. There's a bunch of people doing it too. And sometimes you're just driving down the road and you see something spectacular. On my way back to Texas, and you can just see the rim of the canyon right across right over there, and then out, cut out down there is just spectacular. Unbelievable. Cattle ranchers and the rare tourists get to see this. All right, another stop. Beautiful, beautiful Colorado River. Check this out. Down out of that ridge. A bunch of cars coming down this way right now. Then this Glen Canyon opens up. Colorado River's right there. It's gorgeous. There's that famous canyon, or that bridge. There's Colorado. All right, gang, I'm back. Back in Dallas, and it's way late in May, so I'm just wrapping up, believe it or not, cleaning up the LX and getting everything out of it. As you can probably tell by the various clips I showed, at some point I moved away from horizontal shooting to vertical, so apologize for that, but hopefully you can get the gist of it. And I could tell by going back through and editing the video that, man, I must have used spectacular and phenomenal about 1,000 times. So it really was that for me, and it's beautiful. If you've not had a chance to go see that part of the country, go see it before you leave the planet, because it's spectacular and phenomenal. So really recommend it. So just wrapping up the cleanup job here and dismantling things and putting the LX back together. I pulled this out and I was just thinking, you know, I could have converted this, had my wife gone, I could have converted this to handling 2 people in the back. It'd been a little more, a few more gusseted bars along here over to that side, so I could put a bigger piece of wood across it, but absolutely doable. And that would have been a tight little cozy setup. But I'm just thinking, do I dismantle this thing and use it again at some point, or because I now have it captured forever on video, I can duplicate it with scraps in the future? Huh, something to ponder. All right, so I am curious, for those of you that have maybe ventured out there into that Escalante area, Grand Staircase, you know, it's kind of away from the Zion, it's away from the Bryce area. Have you been out and seen the dinosaur tracks that are 160 million years old? And you can walk out on this, you know, sand dune, marshy area that's been captured forever, since 160 million years ago, and see the dinosaur tracks. It's so cool. So as I said, see it before you leave, and hopefully you have a great experience out there doing it. Car camping was a blast. The group I was with, my brother and a good friend of his, Richard, we had a great time. That was fun. I didn't give you too many, very few photos actually of our camping spot, because we're hoping to keep that a bit clandestine so that we can use it again in the future. And, you know, but there's a lot of great areas out there to pitch a tent and or camp in the back of a vehicle. So let me know about your experiences in that part of the country, and whether or not you enjoy car camping, and if this is something that you'd like to see more of. Please hit that like button, please subscribe, and we will see you on future car camping, van building videos. Be good. Bye-bye.